We have some breaking news to get to here on the 49ers Report. I am your host, Chase Sr. The Niners have cut and released quarterback Josh Rosen and signed cornerback Davontae Harris. 2 videos in one day. That's why you subscribe and you follow us here on the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. This news coming from Mike Garafolo of NFL Network that Rosen has been released by the Niners. Now, earlier today and yesterday, they made a bunch of roster moves to get the roster down to the mandated 85-player limit, which was put out there by the NFL. So Rosen actually got the roster down to 84 players. Davontae Harris is now the final member of this 85-man roster on the Niners. And Rosen mentioned recently that he wasn't happy with practice reps, the lack thereof, during training camp as well as the preseason. That's why he's fine with this release. He's going to try and go elsewhere and latch on a team for the remainder of NFL training camp. Let's get to that tweet from Garafolo of NFL Network. The 49ers are waiving quarterback Josh Rosen, source says. Rosen mentioned recently he wasn't getting enough reps in practice, a chance to latch on elsewhere for the rest of camp now. Niner gang, chime in the comments section and sound off. I know this is huge news for all of you because Rosen was expected to be the face of the franchise. Just kidding. But what's your one-word reaction to Rosen getting cut? Get those one-word reactions in the comment section. For me, it's sayonara. Bye-bye, Josh. You're going to complain about not getting enough reps in practice? I mean, come on. The tape doesn't lie that simply you don't have it. And you were a bust as a top 10 pick back in that draft a couple years ago by the Arizona Cardinals. And I actually think this is a sign that Kyle Shanahan isn't the biggest fan of Josh Rosen. They don't see the potential and the pedigree that a lot of people saw when he was deemed as one of the best quarterback prospects coming out of UCLA. But also there's this. The Niners like Nate Sudfeld better than Josh Rosen as their QB3 behind Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance. And it's looking more and more like Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be your week 1 starter because Trey Lance is looking somewhat raw. Although if he's ready to play, it's been my belief that Lance should play week 1. Again, if he's ready to play. As for what Rosen did against the Kansas City Chiefs on Saturday night in his only action in a Niner uniform, he wasn't great. I thought the ball fluttered out of his hands on a couple of occasions. That offensive line didn't do him any favors, and it was really bad all night for both him and Trey Lance. But the interception that he threw in the red zone just wasn't good. And throughout his short NFL career, Josh Rosen has shown the propensity to turn the football over in inopportune situations. And you just can't have that as a backup quarterback or any quarterback. And the 10 of 15 for less than 100 yards against KC, he didn't do anything in that game to show Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDaniel that they should keep him on this roster. And I think it's pretty telling that they're going with a guy like Sudfeld over Rosen. I actually think Sudfeld is the better player. Yes, he wasn't the prospect coming out of Indiana that Rosen was coming out of UCLA, but Sudfeld has had a pretty accomplished NFL career with the Philadelphia Eagles. He was a backup on that Super Bowl roster behind Nick Foles because of that injury to Carson Wentz, so he's at least had to prepare for a lot of big games, and in the preseason games with Philly, I thought he actually showed something, whereas Josh Rosen simply hasn't. Pretty crazy ride for Rosen since getting drafted 10th in 2018 by the Cardinals. I remember that Hard Knocks clip of Larry Fitzgerald going up to Steve Wilks, the coach at the time, and Fitzgerald, who obviously knows what a good quarterback looks like because he's a Hall of Fame wide receiver, said, "Steve, I think we got ourselves a franchise guy." That has not proven to be the case, and he's bopped around over the last few years in a pretty crazy way. 2018 with the Cardinals, then they draft Kyler Murray to replace him. He gets traded to the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins select Tua Tagovailoa. Last year, Rosen was with the Bucs, didn't even play. And then in 2021, his tenure with San Francisco did not last all that long. So the downfall has been pretty wild for Rosen. I really liked him as a quarterback prospect coming out of UCLA. I thought in the college ranks, he threw a really pretty deep ball. He was one of my favorite quarterbacks at that time in that 2018 draft class. But so often we see quarterbacks go to an organization that doesn't have structure, that doesn't have stability. And all of a sudden, immediately, they get off on the wrong foot in their NFL careers because their confidence is just absolutely shattered. I think Rosen had ability coming out of UCLA, but then he went to an unstable, rocky ship in Arizona, and his confidence was really just diminished right from the get-go, and he hasn't been able to recover that or refine that in the years since. Are you surprised by the Rosen cut? Some Niner fans kind of like this signing. When they brought Josh Rosen in to be a backup, some were like, why bring him in? Type Y for it, yes, I am surprised. Type N for no. Get those votes in the comment section down below. NFL football is here, which only means one thing. You can lay down some wagers and bet once again on football. It's awesome. It's one of the best times of the year. And good news for all of the bettors out there, this deal from our sportsbook partner at BetUS, it's one of the best out there from any sports book. You see that link at the bottom of your screen. Go to chatsports.com/49bet. Enter the promo code Niners125, and you get a 125% deposit bonus. Meaning, if you put $100 in your account, you get $225 to gamble with. Yeah, how about gambling on some preseason football? Niners set to take on the Chargers after joint practices throughout this week on Sunday night. Kickoff is set for 7:30 p.m. Eastern in Los Angeles at that brand new lavish stadium. Niners entering the game as 5.5-point favorites. The over-under set at 34. Once again, you can bet on this game by using that link at the bottom of your screen, chatsports.com/49bet, or use the promo code Niners125. You have to use that link and that promo code to get the 125% deposit bonus, and you can deposit less than $100 if you so please. More roster moves to get to because it's been a busy move for the Niners today, as well as every team across the National Football League. To take over Rosen's roster spot, the Niners have signed cornerback Davontae Harris. They claimed him off of waivers from the Baltimore Ravens. Harris has 4 years of NFL experience with the Bengals, Broncos, and Ravens. He now claims the 85th and final roster spot. We're looking at a cornerback who's 26 years old. He's been a journeyman so far since coming into the league out of Illinois State. I'm not expecting him to make a roster spot or take a roster spot. This is simply a camp body, and you can't expect him to make the 53-man when he is the 85th player on this roster right now. My rule and my thought on a signing like this, especially at this juncture in training camp, you can never have enough cornerbacks because we're looking at a pass-happy league right now where all of the rules have started to cater all of the offenses, and cornerbacks go down with soft tissue injuries in training camp all the time, or they get rested in the era of load management, so you can never have enough corners, and Harris is just another camp body. Let's quickly recap all of the roster moves that have taken place today in Santa Clara. Niners, in order to get down to 85 roster spots, release Ken Webster, cornerback, linebacker James Burgess, linebacker Donald Payne, Eddie Vanderdoes also released along that defensive line. Josh Perkins released, and Josh Rosen has also been let go. All of those position groups, areas of depth and areas of talent on this roster, so really nothing to be concerned about. Again, the NFL mandated all teams across the NFL to get down to 85 players today. This is your go-to spot for all of the best 49ers coverage right here on YouTube. Appreciate all of you for making the 49ers Report by Chat Sports a part of your day, a part of your weeks, a part of your months during the NFL season and in the offseason. 365 days a year, 366 during leap years. We have you covered here on the channel. Smash that subscribe button or go to youtube.com/49erstv and get us to 40K subs.